Hello and good afternoon to all who has present this National Startup Day. Today we are here to celebrate the National Startup Day, and there are very activities which we have to celebrate in the future course of action, like National Pollution Control Day. We have to celebrate those days, Energy Conservation Day, Science Day, and World Day. So, for to start up to kick start the activity today, we'll be having the talk on the topic as founders of today and leaders of tomorrow. And for that session, we have with us the expert, Dr. Saad Parvez. We have with us Regional Director, our Honorable Regional Director, Dr. Shahnawaz Ahmad Dar. We have with us Assistant Regional Director, Dr. Mudassir Hassan Bhatt. And the session has been joined from one of the RCs, RC Aligarh. I welcome Dr. Sabdari Azam to this meet, and all the section heads, apart from the staff member, have joined this session. So apart from the dignitaries, we have with us Fayaz Ahmed Sheikh, the student of MAER, who, for your information and for the information of our expert, has bagged the first medal at national level for his creativity and innovation. And I also welcome him to this meet. Dr. Sabdar is with us. Welcome, Dr. Sabdar, for this induction meet. And to start this, I would like to request our Regional Director, esteemed Regional Director, Dr. Shahnawaz Ahmad Dar, sir, for delivering his welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Javed Saab. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Respected Dr. Saad Parvez Saab, so head IIED NIT. My colleague from RC Aligarh, Dr. Sabdar. My fellow colleague from RC Srinagar, Dr. Mudassir. The innovator who received the first prize on the foundation day of IGNOU, Mr. Fayaz Ahmed, my staff from Regional Center Srinagar, and the participants from all across the country. So I wholeheartedly welcome you all to this session. So it is indeed a matter of great pleasure for me to welcome you all to this session. I am highly thankful to our worthy Vice Chancellor, Professor Nageshwar Rao sir, for taking these initiatives in the interest of our learners to celebrate these international days and national days, which goes a long way in the interest of in the interest of our learners and in the interest of our community and the regions where these events and activities are being celebrated. I would also like to mention Director, National Center for Innovations in Distance Education, Professor Om Prakash Sharma ji, who is the brain behind these creating these innovation centers at the regional centers, uh, who has taken the keen interest in setting up of these innovation centers at the regional centers all across the country. In all the 56 regional centers, we have now the innovation clubs. So the innovation club at regional center Srinagar has started doing various activities, and in that context, so this is one of the activities that innovation club at regional center Srinagar uh, has rightly called upon the person who has immense contributions in the field of innovations and startup in our region, in our Kashmir Valley, and the entire UT as well. So I'm talking about nobody other than Dr. Saad Parvez Saab, so who is known for his work in this field. So thank you very much, sir, for gracing the occasion and for being with us today. Uh, if I talk about National Startup Day, so we know India is recognized as a startup hub, and such government initiatives basically encourage innovations across the sectors. So we know January 16 is celebrated as the National Startup Day every year in the country. We know Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has made this announcement last year to assist basically the startup tradition to the grassroots level. I think the national declaration of the National Startup Day is symbolic. We know India has the fastest growing and one of the most innovative startups globally. So the startup ecosystem, we can say, has seen a shift from skepticism to nationwide adoption in the past year. And we are now entering a new phase of the exponential growth that is in the form of e-commerce, digital payments, and data democratization that continues to shape the future of the business that we are dealing in the present times. So I remember the quote of Oprah Winfrey, who says that the biggest adventure you can ever take is to live the life of your dreams. So this quote is incredibly fitting for the startup day, as starting a business is a huge undertaking and a true adventure. It takes courage, determination, and a willingness to take the risks. It's not just about having a great idea or product, it's also about having the drive and passion to see it through to fruition. Uh, we know currently startups are contributing about 3% to the overall GDP, and that is likely to become 10% in the next one decade. And this gives us even more confidence in working towards creating proper infrastructure to fuel the growth of early stage startups and those entrepreneurs building India. So if you are thinking about starting your own business, so I mean to say the participants who have joined this session, remember that it is not just about the destination, it's about the journey also. So embrace the adventure and enjoy the ride. And remember, the biggest adventure you can ever take is to live the life of your dreams. So, as I'm not the expert to discuss many things regarding uh, the National Startup Day, so I think the right person, in fact, the right persons will be the Fayaz Saab and Saad Saab. So, who are into these fields, who have much more experience and who are well aware about many things pertaining to the startups, innovation, and the other related areas. So, without taking much of your time, so I think I will pass on the stage to our respected guests for today's session, so that they can deliberate much better on the theme of the today's session. That's basically the founders of today and leaders of tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, Dr. O.P. Sharma is with us. He has also joined the session. So
Oh,
we'll be glad to listen him from.
sir, welcome, sir. So thank you very much, sir, for joining this session. So I was basically informing my participants about your contributions regarding creating the culture of innovations at the regional centers. So we wholeheartedly welcome you, sir, to this session.
Very much, and namaskar to all of you. It's my pleasure to be part of this event being organized by the Regional Center Srinagar. I know it's a very active regional center in terms of all the activities related to IGNOU students, IGNOU programs, and I have been watching it very closely. Day before yesterday, only the Vyas portal, an innovative initiative, was launched, and how much it was publicized at the regional center Srinagar, that I can see. And also we can see Fayaz Ahmad with us. He is the best innovation awardee of the year 2022, and felicitated him and then encouraged him, and I think it's not encouragement to Fayaz. Other students also must have been encouraged, because this kind of activities, they motivate other students also. Working here at IGNOU, being distance education university, I have noticed the number of IGNOU students that they are doing very excellent work at their own. if we are helping them in one other way, encouraging them and providing them right kind of guidance at the right time, I think that will certainly help them in converting their idea into a proper startup or business. So that I have noticed, and in this context, today's program, this celebration of National Startup Day, this is basically a ceremonial kind of thing for this one day. Otherwise, for IGNOU and all the center, it is a ongoing throughout the year activity. It's not limited to one day only, but certainly because Honorable Prime Minister had announced this last year, 16th January, as a National Startup Day, and that gives us a feel like a startup should be promoted and is being promoted. And IGNOU students, they have immense potential in this context. That I can tell you from my side, because I have been interacting with the students from all over the country, with all the regional centers. From all regional centers, we are finding a number of potential innovators. Potential innovators, I want to say, like they have very brilliant ideas. They have initiated something at their own level. But this kind of program, this kind of motivation, that will certainly give them a proper direction, proper guidance. And if we are having an expert like Parvez, I was looking at his profile just in the banner, and I can see that will help them help our students in getting their ideas further. What kind of problems are likely to be there? What kind of solutions they can think of? What kind of supports are available in the country? Because I'm not from the field of entrepreneurship, but still, while interacting with you all people, I have learned many things, and I'm trying to share those all with our students and other faculty members. Then I come to know that there are a number of opportunities in the country, but we are not aware of those. There are a number of resources available in the country. We are not aware of those. So I think the experts like Parvez Saab, they will certainly help us in finding what are the different sources, what are the possibilities in different areas, what is the scope of this startup and business in our country, what kind of support we are getting from the country, encouragement we are getting from the government. So these all, I think I should not take much time. I can only thank and congratulate the regional center Srinagar under the leadership of very dynamic regional director Sanwazi and his colleagues. I would like to thank Parvez Saab also for sparing time to address our students, and certainly your address, your deliberation will help our students. And I can see this session is being recorded, so it will be made available later on also to all the students. So this deliberation will help them, will give them a certain direction, what kind of possibilities are there, what kind of challenges are likely to be there. I hope you will help them. So I will not take much time. Thank you very much for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to be part of this very important event. So Sanwasa, we can take it up further.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for gracing the occasion, for joining the session. It is indeed, we can say, a point of encouragement for us that you are attending our session that we have conducted for the innovators and the learners of our region. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Now, before I request our guest to deliver this lecture, I would like to request our I can say the gold medalist. It's a proud moment for all of us. Mr. Fayaz Ahmed is with us. So for your information, for the information of my colleagues, he is the person who has bagged the prize through national level. So we'd like to, and all would like to hear what actually he has done, what innovative work he has done. So we are very much eager to know about this work from Mr. Fayaz. Yes, Mr. Fayaz, please go ahead with you, what you have done. Yes, Fayaz sir.
गुड आफ्टरनून सर. सर कुछ कहने से पहले मैं चाहता हूँ कि स्वाद सर कुछ बताइए. मैं कोई एक्सपर्ट तो नहीं हूँ, लेकिन मेरा तो मैं एक स्टार्टअप हूँ, और उससे पहले मैं स्वाद सर से ही कुछ, हम पहले स्वाद सर का ही सुनेंगे, तो उसके बाद मैं बता दूंगा.
Okay, fine. Say, my dear colleagues, we have with us expert Dr. Saad Parvez. Allow me to introduce our guest, basically, our guest is the founder of Innovation, Incubation, and Entrepreneurship Development Center and CEO of Greenovator Incubation Foundation Sector Section A company for promoting startup culture in the Valley. So, having BE Mechanical Engineering from RSU Srinagar, he is also having MTech from IIT Delhi, MBA from IGNOU. That's good to see. MBA alumni from IGNOU itself, and PhD in Industrial Chemistry from NIT Srinagar. Also, he is acting as a senior associate professor in Mechanical Engineering Department from NIT Srinagar. Presently working as a head IIEDC for last 5 years to create an ecosystem and enabling culture of innovation and entrepreneurship in the region. So I welcome Dr. Saad Parvez. So he will be deliberating on this theme which we have selected for today's startup is founders of today and the leaders of tomorrow. Over to you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for introducing me. And it's not industrial chemistry; it's industrial engineering. And then Honorable Dr. O.P. Sharma ji, the regional director, Dr. Shahnawaz, all the esteemed, faculty of IGNOU, dear students, and Mr. Fayaz Ahmed, who's the innovator, who's the real, the doer of the whole discourse of innovations and entrepreneurship, who is with us. A very good afternoon and a welcome, and it's a matter of privilege for me to be a part of IGNOU, because I have done my MBA way back in 2004 through IGNOU. I remember as a student the hard work which we were made to do, and the course contents which were given to us, they were really wonderful, and IGNOU is doing a great job. It's one of the national builders in education, and I really feel privileged to be a part of today's deliberations. So before I start, can you kindly tell me how much time do I have so that I can make it accordingly? So what is the time domain, and because when we talk about innovations, we can go for hours together. So
you can take your time. So there is no boundation. You can take
one
your time up to
1 hour would be okay for me.
Yes, it will be fine.
Okay, that's really wonderful. So I just would like to share my PPT for the day.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Kindly help me. I think we are back to the previous post-COVID times when we had a lot of interaction through online and virtual modes. So kindly help me. My slide is visible?
Yes. It's
Okay.
visible, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Please help me. I whenever you feel like I'm not able to, change my slides, or you're not able to listen me, please knock me. So I would be talking about innovations because this is a special day for the National Startup Day, which IGNOU is celebrating. It's just to remind and to ensure that we are able to create an ecosystem and an enabling environment within our campuses, within ourselves, in our industries, at the grassroots level, just to promote the ecosystem of innovations and entrepreneurship. That's why we are here today. Well, as Dr. Shahnawaz was sharing his views, in Indian context, if India has to evolve as a $5 trillion economy, which it is looking at, for India, it has to evolve as a global innovation hub. It's very, very important. Now, if we have to evolve as a global innovation hub, what does it mean? It means that we have to create thousands and thousands of islands and ecosystems in the country, which are self-sufficient, which are competitive, and which are working on great ideas. That's very, very important for us. Now, our education system, when we talk about the education system, whether it is a distance education or university education, school, colleges education, right from the primary to the secondary and the postgraduate stages. It's very important for us that these education institutions can be the best places for achieving the objectives of startups, building startups, because it has the potential, it has the human resources. These institutions need to emerge and say as the islands of research and innovations. When we talk about research, which generally is undertaken at the higher levels, research is generally a conversion of wealth into knowledge. And when we look at the innovations in generic terms, we say that innovation is the direct conversion of knowledge into wealth. For this reason, the startup activities and environment is very, very crucial, and is being taken up very seriously by the government. For the last 10 years, we have been very, very, critical about creating that ecosystems, not only in the campuses, but in the places which we belong to. And we must ensure that good ideas are pursued as startups and enterprises and contribute towards the wealth creation of the country. So that's very, very important. Now, I will be talking in general about, the innovation process that need to be understood by one and all. Then I'll throw some light on the future technologies, because when we talk about the startups, it's very, very important for us to look at the future technologies. What is disrupting us? What are the future jobs which have to be created? What would be obsolete? And what are the emerging technologies? Then I'll be throwing some light on the current students who want to pursue startups and entrepreneurship as their careers. That there's an approach which we call as the design thinking approach. I'll be throwing some light on that. The design thinking approach, a very, very important and a crucial approach where the students have to ponder upon. And after that, I'll be just giving some few examples from the local ecosystem in the valley, and then maybe some light on how we should pursue entrepreneurship and how to become, what are the basic traits of becoming a successful entrepreneur. So these are some of the, as rightly said by Dr. Shahnawaz, that it's a journey. It's a journey. Entrepreneurship is it's a global phenomena, and with growing population, jobs are decreasing. People have to be accommodated. Entrepreneurship is very, very important component of augmenting the economy by creating economic units and centers, and they are the economic drivers. So all the the startups, the entrepreneurs who start their journey and are successful, they become the economic drivers, and they are the basic organizations. They are the ventures. They are the establishments which add economy, which add the GDP to a particular region or a country. So as this journey is concerned, the journey of entrepreneurship, it's a three-stage process. The first step, or the first stage, talks about thinking something new, thinking new things, and that's the creativity. Startups cannot build up. Startups cannot be successful until and unless we have a creative system. Creativity in our education, creativity in our industries, creativity in our thinking. We have to keep on pondering. We have to keep on thinking what new things can cause disruption in the market. And that is the first step. And this is what we call as a journey from mind to market. So mind is when we are creative, when we start thinking out a box, and when we look at avenues available, the opportunities available, so that such opportunities can be developed into entrepreneurship activities. So that's the first step. And then once we are creative, we think something new, we come up doing new things, and that is innovation. So generally speaking, the main purpose of innovation is to, improve people's lives. All of us, you will agree with that. When it comes to managing a business, innovation is key for making any type of progress and growth. Although our innovation activities may not necessarily be powerful enough to save the world, which generally we claim, but our focus should be on improving the things which affect us. And it's our responsibility to find new ways of improvements in our own spheres of influence. That's what Mr. Fayaz must have thought. Small improvements, eventually lead to the bigger and better ideas that may one day become revolutionary. As entrepreneurs, our focus should be on humanity. By humanity, it doesn't mean that we are not talking about profits, but we are talking about the profits. We are talking about the empowerment of the people, and we are talking about the making the planet a better place. So that's innovation. So once you innovate, once you have some new idea, then the next step is the protection of that intellectual property right. And that is done through filing patents, trademarks, designs, copyrights, geographical indicators. In agriculture, we talk about the plant variety and a trade secrets. So all these innovations have to be protected. It's very, very important for us to obtain patents. And once we have patents, when a good innovation is born, the next, it should culminate into an entrepreneurship. It should culminate into a business. So when we talk about the entrepreneurship, we say that is creating value in the marketplace. So once you are able to create a value in the marketplace by sustainability, by scalability, by diversification, by again innovating and creating the disruption, that is how exactly this journey is defined. So I'll not go in details of this process, but it's not in isolation. A journey from mind to market, and there's a third M to it, which is in the center, which generally we people try to help the innovators, which we call as the mentors. So it's a journey of 3 M's. On one end we have mind, on the second end we have the market, and in between we have mentors, handholdings, incubation centers. In NIT Srinagar also we have established incubation center, which we call as the Innovation, Incubation and Entrepreneurship Development Center. The basic aim of this center is to create value to the thoughts, to the thought process, and innovate those promising pragmatic ideas, convert them into tangible products or services, and look for the market. So innovation and invention, these are very common buzzwords which generally we keep on hearing. There's a difference between, generally we confuse between innovation and invention. Invention generally is a formulation of the new idea or a product or a process. So that's invention. But inventions, when value is added to inventions, and once the inventions are made market ready, we call them innovations. So it's a practical application of the new inventions into marketplace products or services. Now let's talk about I'm very clear. If you want to stop me in between, please don't hesitate. If you have any questions, any point which you want to raise, so let's make it a more interactive session.
Yes sir, मेरा एक सर, हम कहीं पे देखते हैं कि वहां पे लिखा होता है कि टेक्नोलॉजिकल वैलिडेशन या इन्वेंशन और इनोवेशन
जी।
तो सर टेक्नोलॉजी
आप एक what we can do is आप please just pen down those questions. So we will have maybe 10 to 15 minutes for those question answer sessions. But any argument you want to stop me on some front and make some contribution from your end, you are please welcome. But as for the question answer is concerned, let's have it at the end. Now, innovations, as I told you, they are the drivers. They are the drivers of the society. We have been, all of us know about the innovations mankind has been doing right from the advent, when the human race was created by Almighty, and we have seen how the technology has evolved. We have seen how innovations are happening, have happened, and will keep on happening. I'm not going to talk about the historical perspective of it, but I would definitely talk about the innovations and the future aspects of it, because that is very important for our startups, the people who have joined us or the people who would listen us. We know that we are living through a technological revolution that so far only existed in science fictions. जब हम छोटे थे, आपको याद होगा, people like me, we were very keenly watching those reading those fictional stories and watching those serials which we thought are just mere fictions, like Star Wars ke bare mein, if you know about it, and then things that when I was a young child, mobile was out of our concept. But during the Star Wars and some serials we used to see, jahan par wo dikhate the ki there is a person, somebody very unusual, and then he's connected to the other part of the globe through some device, and we used to think, oh, these are just mere thoughts. This will never happen. And look at today, the technologies of today have really squeezed the globe, and those are they are no more the fictional stories, they are the realities. So technological advancements and increased productivity, it's causing the major changes for careers of tomorrow, for the startup ecosystems of tomorrow. If you look at the world economy, we would find that it could be more than double in size by the year 2050, due to the continuous technological driven products improvements, what's happening around. Let's just look at some data. According to the new World Economic Forum report, they said that nearly 140 million new jobs may be created by 2025 or 2026, while 80 million jobs would be displaced by emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, automation, robotics, blockchain, and many more, which you already know about them. Now, these emerging technologies and the worldwide growth of businesses would generally be in sectors such as AI, machine learning, ICT, biotechnology, nanotechnology, materials, new materials, energy, environment, climate change, and many such areas which we already know about. Now, the artificial intelligence powered technologies and innovations are poised to disrupt the world and transform the human history. That all of us know. So they are the powerful agents of change, we can call them, because they are going to affect the future of human lives. The AI technologies, they generally provide a plethora of opportunities to complement human intelligence and combat the social economic issues. AI is when machine basically exhibit intelligence. And I'll be giving you some examples of such AI technologies which are very common and which have a lot of scope in tomorrow's startup ecosystems, in tomorrow's entrepreneurship. That's very, very important for us to discuss about. But we all know that whatever technologies we are adopting, whether we talk about the technological innovations, we talk about the innovations which are pertaining to services, we talk about aggregators, we talk about solving some problem, there are few fundamental outcomes of innovations which remain common. What are those? The economic growth, as I've already talked about. We have to focus on the increased well-being and better communication. We have to, in terms of education, the educational accessibility, the environmental sustainability, the carbon emissions have to be decreased. We have to talk about better livings for people, for the downtrodden. We have to talk about the healthy related issues, especially in places which are backward and where which are not accessible to the modern healthcare facilities. We have to talk about innovations which could reduce sicknesses, which could reduce poverty, which could reduce hunger. So these are the burning issues which generally innovators have to talk about. And of course, when we talk about sickness, poverty, hunger, so there is a lot of emotions related to all of us. But when we talk about millions and millions of people who don't have food to eat, millions of people who live beyond $1 poverty level, people who have no access to education, millions of them. The difference is that we look it from the empathy viewpoint, but an entrepreneur or a prospective startup would look it as an opportunity to solve this problem and to earn money, empower people, and make this globe a better place to live. So that is how exactly innovations would give a drive to a startup, to an entrepreneur who looks from the perspective of solving a broader problem. So let's go to the next slide very quickly. What are the indicators of innovations? These indicators, they basically describe as the innovation health of a nation. Very quickly, if you look at the data, which you can find on this PPT on your screens, that between 1977 and 2015, United States of America had about 57.5 lakhs patents which were granted, whereas India was quite behind. Small countries like Taiwan, Korea, UK, they had a lot of patents. I'll directly come to the 2019, the data which I was able to acquire. Countries like Australia, Germany, China, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, UK, US had lakhs and thousands of patents which they granted. India was quite behind. That's the reason, now in the last, decade, the decade between 2010 and 20 was declared as the decade of innovations. And there has been a huge steps, a lot of initiatives which has been taken by the government of India, so that we are able to file more patents. So more startup ecosystems need to be created. More startups, successful startup stories have to be created. And, economic ventures need to be created. And this is the only way, as I have already told you, that which could boost the economy of our country. And that's why we need to understand that the importance of innovations and the future jobs. I was talking about AI. Now, what is this AI? How it is causing the disruption? Very, very important. Now, artificial intelligence, as many of you might be knowing, it's when machines become intelligent. When the machines can perceive their environment, when the machines can take actions, make their own decisions to maximize chances of success as a goal. That's how exactly AI is causing the disruption in our way of living. So an AI machine, artificial intelligence machine, it's responsive, it's decisive, it's adaptive, and it is independent. Let's take some examples. I'll not, how exactly innovations are happening around the world, in India too, and what are the challenges. Now look at this slide. We find that in manufacturing, the first slide here, the first part, it shows a assembly line where automobiles are working, automobiles are being produced. So you'll find that AI-based robots are performing all the activities. So human beings are, not used here. So there is a change in the manufacturing process. We call generally it as Industry 4.0, which talks about manufacturing using cyber spaces, using cyber technology. And this is how exactly AI is causing, all the disruptions, whether we talk about welding process, manufacturing process, machining processes, all smart machines. They are doing it, and there are thousands of people who are becoming redundant. Talk about the military. In military warfares, it's very scary. There are some stories you might be listening that how warfare technologies are going to emerge and cause a disruption using AI technologies. You see, the war which is going on, all of you must be witnessing Russia and Ukraine war, how exactly things are happening, and what type of the military arsenals are being used. Mostly, drones, pilotless drones, pilotless aircrafts, the technologies which are AI based, they are being used, and it's causing destruction. I'm still hopeful that the war will end and it will not. The nuclear arsenal will not be used. So in case the countries start using nuclear arsenal, I think it's a matter of few hours that we might become insignificant. The world will end. Let's go to other part. We talk about medical area where AI is causing a lot of disruption. A lot of disruptions are being caused. They say that the future is that when every individual who is savvy with the technology is going to carry a doctor in his pocket. So to carry a doctor in his pocket means you will be having a doctor. Obviously, we cannot replace all the doctors, but the doctors themselves would use AI technologies to diagnose diseases and to facilitate the healing process. Talk about law, judiciary. We will be having AI-based lawyers, robo lawyers we call them, robo docs we call them. When you talk about it, the doctors. Look at the slide here. So this is just a small AI-powered vacuum cleaner. So all of us, we use vacuum cleaning devices. So this is AI-powered. So what you have to do, just leave this vacuum cleaner in a room, in a big room or a hall which needs to be cleaned up, and then it will sense the room, create an image, make its own decisions, what to do, how to move, where to move, how much cleaning need to be performed, and no human intervention would be there. Now this is, all of us know that we are into, very soon we'll be having cars, self-driven cars, autonomous vehicles we call them. A lot of research is going on. So these powerful vehicles would be driven by nobody. You just need to relax, sit on the back seat, enjoy the drive in a very traffic congested urban areas. The vehicle will take you. No need to find a parking. The vehicle will drop you somewhere. You can interact with the vehicle. You can talk to the vehicle, or your vehicle would be your friend. And then this would find its parking yourself. And then when you are back from shopping or back from office, it will again come, reach a spot, pick you up and go away. So these are your self-driving cars, and a lot of companies are into it. Tesla, all of you know about it. Then Motional is working, Cruise is working, Luminar is working in these technologies. I talked about health care sector. Now these robotic surgeries are very common. The doctor is in US and the surgeries are being performed somewhere in Asian countries where everything is controlled by AI systems. Smart assistants, we already know about them. The social humanoids, the robo Sophia, you know about it. We know about the Alexa, the Siri, the Cortana, the other such platforms where and any type of assistance is given to people who, and it's all based on AI. It's all based on AI with 5G technologies coming up and IoT being very common. This would really reduce the latency which is caused today. challenges. Now, these are technologies, of course, these technologies would be helpful, but what are the challenges which are present? One of you could create a startup where these the AI challenges are minimized. The challenges relating to the privacy, the challenges relating to the security, the challenges which, as I told you, the job displacements. Where are the government going to, create more jobs and facilities and skill development for people who get displaced from their jobs? And then the wealth inequality, of course, all of us are witness to that. The wealth inequality because of the emerging technologies, and of course, one of the biggest challenges is the dominance. The technology would not be spread evenly among the communities, but there would be giants, there would be industrial giants who are pioneers in this technology. They will be taking the dominance of such technologies and leave others very, very behind. Now, these are some slides where we can very quickly. Are you able to see them?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll not go in detail because we will not be able to finish then. These are the common news items which you hear, which you listen, which you read. The displacement is happening. And look at you see, we had very recently, there was a UNICEF sponsored conference, and I was a part of that conference. We were talking about the digitalization of education in J&K. A lot of experts had joined those 2-3 days workshop where we were talking about the digital divide and how exactly digitalization in education can be prevalently spread across the UT of J&K. If you look at the technologies, you see most of the teachers would become irrelevant if they don't keep a pace with the technology. That's very, very important. A message from me also. Most of the teachers, whether they are from any university, this is because why do I say that? What claims do I have? In this figure, you'll find that's the first humanoid robot teacher, a teacher who will be teaching engineering, replacing Saad Parvez in the class. That humanoid robot would do thousands times better, can answer all the questions which are posed by the students, would interact them in a very beautiful way. The only thing which might be missing in that teacher is that it would not have the emotions as we do have, but that is the reality. Then the virtual reality, these are the emerging technologies, the VR headsets for education, which are very, very common. So these are the emerging technologies which are going to cause displacements. They said that the technology basically won't probably replace teachers who do not. That's the message which we have to learn. So the effective and efficient utilization of the technology, whether some startup is taking it, some entrepreneur is taking it, some technological giant is giving us a technology, it's very, very important for us to adapt to that technology. So the technology adaptation and the skill development relating to the application of that technology is very, very important. Just imagine in COVID times, we have seen that pandemic. If Google was not there, Google, these, connecting mediums, digital mediums were not there, what would have happened? So it's the innovations which actually helped us. And today we are interacting through innovation. The Google link, which was sent to me, I just had to click it and I'm connected to all of you and to many, many more around the globe. And this is what innovations can do. And just imagine if I or you were not able to use this technology, adapt to this technology, what would be our future? What would be, the outcome of our efforts? Now, the data says that 65% of children now entering primary school will hold jobs that currently don't exist. It's a wonderful statement. I got it from somewhere. 65% of the children now entering the primary school level will hold jobs that currently doesn't exist. What does it mean? It means that the future will find applications in emerging technologies virtually in every walk of business, healthcare, manufacturing, smart gadgets, military, space, education, investments, and so forth. So AI will displace millions of existing jobs, but would create millions other. For example, you see, new skills have to be developed. It's very, very important. The new skills which are important for such primary school children would include, what are those skills? They are analytical thinking, emotional intelligence, the cultural intelligence, creativity, interpersonal skills, decision making. Then technical skills are very, very important. Then activity learning and so forth. So these are the important skills which people have to think. These are the new skills: analytical, emotional, cultural, creativity, interpersonal, decision making. Now, what are the basic techniques and tools of decision making? We should know about them. What are the future decision making techniques? Because the machines are more powerful to make decisions than human beings. So where are we going to end? And then activity learning. Now the big question which we have to ask, the policymakers, the vice chancellors, the government agencies, the teachers, the technocrats, the entrepreneurs, are we ready for this challenge? That's the question. That's the challenge. The first lesson in adapting to technology, adapting to innovations, becoming a successful entrepreneur, become a successful startup is the ABC of it. The first step. What is ABC? It's the attitude. It's the behavior. It's the culture. Do we have a positive attitude? Do we have that fire in the belly? Are we promising enough to undertake startup as the challenge, entrepreneurship as a challenge? So if you have that positive attitude, then you can become a startup. If you have an inclusive behavior, if you have a collaborative behavior, because startups and entrepreneurs or innovators as such cannot strive in isolations, cannot grow in isolations. They have to be a teamwork. They have to include many people. So that inclusive behavior and collaborative behaviors are very, very important. And the third important thing is the culture, a creative culture and entrepreneurial culture. I'm very happy to hear from the Dr. O.P. Sharma ji that IGNOU is really creating that culture of innovations, the culture of entrepreneurship in their curriculum, and only way in which we can look for the future growth, because the conventional things which we teach, they are going to be redundant very, very soon. So we have to upgrade. We need to upgrade in all spheres of imparting that education. We have to be very, very innovative in giving education to people, to students. I'll just skip this slide. Education, I would not talk much about it, but just remember one thing, that like we have industry 1.0, industry 4.0, similarly we have education 4.0, and that's the innovation based education. Our education system has to be innovation based. That's the only way in which we can strive or survive. So mindset, the right people, the right culture, the right process, the identification of the right tools, and the emerging technologies. This is all a successful digital transformation which is going to happen. So these are very, very stages. On the first 2, 3, this is related to the people, and 4 to 5, it's related to the technology and process, or materials or tools, whatever we can call it. So this is the transformation. So this John Dewey said that if we teach today's students as we taught yesterday's, we rob them of tomorrow. So that's why tomorrow is very, very important. That's why I thought of talking about the emerging technologies. That's why I thought about why when startups have to be discussed, when innovations have to be discussed, what are those innovations and startups which would really become a continuous or a continual process in their journey of innovations. So the education is very important. The things which we teach to children should focus on the future goals, should focus on the future technologies. So the message, let us use this platform to think through this challenge and change and try to develop a broader integrated vision of the future. Now this finishes my first part of it. I still have 20 minutes left, and then I'll be talking about the other part of it. The second part of it is now for those students who want to become startups. And the first question which a layman or any person would ask, sir, what is the approach? If I want to become a startup, what should I take? How should I identify a problem? How should I So a launching pad for startups. This is the design thinking. You see, when we talk about designing some product, when you talk about designing a service which intends to meet an explicit or implicit need, we say that we have to design. But just mere designing is not enough. We have to think about not only a mere designing, but we have to design thinking is the crux. The difference between design and design thinking is that when we design something, we take individuals as part of our design efforts. Whereas in design thinking, it's the team, it's the people. More people are involved in my designs. I talk about designing products or services in mere design, where imbibes from the customers, sharing their success stories, failures, and whatever the knowledge or data talks to me, or the data, the information which the data provides me. When we talk about a mere design, we talk about engineering and art, combination of engineering and art. Whereas in design thinking, we talk about technology, we talk about business, and we talk about the human beings. So that's the general difference between design thinking and just design. So design thinking is involving people, it's involving the spaces, it's an approach, and this combination of people, space, and approach gives rise to innovations. So design thinking is more human-centric approach. It's one of the best ways of solving problems. It's a problem-solving process. And it's the most important part of this design thinking approach is that it takes empathy into consideration. It's an empathetic study. So until empathy is not there, you will not be able to come up with the right designs for a product or services for which you are looking to formulate a startup or an entrepreneurial process. It talks about experimentation. A lot of experimentation has to be done in design thinking, and it's a hands-on collaboration. So it's all about people, and there are 5 stages in the 5 steps in design thinking. Then step number 1 is to recognize the problem, and to recognize the problem, we have to empathize. We have to create a meaningful innovations or a startup which would make us understand the users, which would make us to understand what the users need. needs are, what do they want. So we have to find the pain point, we call that pain point. We have to be in the shoes of the users. अगर आप कुछ startup करना चाहते हैं, you want to innovate, don't do it blindly. You have an idea in your mind and you come up with something which is very unusual, which is very new, which is novel, but you don't know who are the people for whom you're doing it. You will be not successful. So empathize is the first step, where you try to understand the needs of the people for which you are trying to innovate. And then you define that need. So framing the right problem, a right problem statement has to be developed. So framing the right problem is the only way to create the right solutions. So solutions cannot be found, solutions cannot be investigated until the problem has not been defined. So a right problem, which comes from after you empathize, you come up with the right definition. And when these two things are ready with you, then we talk about the ideation stage. It's like creating the right ideas for that product or services. So it's about generating the broadest range of possibilities. So look at the various possibilities, the various ideas. So that's why we call this design thinking as a convergent divergent approach. It converges because it takes many ideas to solve a certain problem, and then it diverges because it screens the ideas and come up with the best solution, which is promising, which is practical, which has sustainability, which has scalability, which has a scope of development in the marketplace, which can be commercially developed and implemented for its intended use. That is the prototype. Now I develop my POCs, the proof of concepts of my prototypes, built to think and test to learn. That's the basic mantra, the crux. And then the final testing is done. The testing of this prototype, we try to find out whether all the ingredients of this innovation are rightly put there. So testing is an opportunity to learn about the solutions, the intended solutions. So this is what we call as the steps in the design thinking. It's a very elaborative process. I would suggest the listeners of my talk that please read about design thinking. You would find it very interesting. A lot of work is being currently being done in design thinking, where students follow this approach to come up with a very prospective, promising idea for startups. So this is the approach. We discover, we define, we develop, and we deliver. Now look at these slides. Very interesting. These technologies or these products or services have been developed by following the design thinking approach. These are called as a design thinking inventions. Now what do you find on the left side of the screen? A wheel. And look at the right side of the screen. What a beautiful wheel has been developed. And it has its purpose to minimize the friction, to minimize the air resistance, to maximize the power, to make maximum utilization of the energy in the car. Look at those figures, design thinking inventions. Wow. Cup and saucer problem. Every time the ladies get cup and saucer, we find that, chai giri hoti hai saucer mein. And somebody came with a design thinking approach, small slots being made beneath the cup of tea or coffee with, those cookies well placed beneath it, solving the problem. And look at how cutting is being done. Oh, this is a typical problem where when people sleep, they get that ache in their arm because they're resting their arms beneath their heads. And this is a pizza problem. Okay, now this is very important for the prospective startups. The Ola or the Uber taxis, which are all of us know, all of us must have traveled in them. What is very unique about these, startups? Uber is the world's largest taxi company that owns no vehicle. So not even a single vehicle. It's just the mind. Even in India, the Ola, they were 3 or 4 friends from IIT Bombay, and it's a story. I'll share it to you sometime, some other day, not today. Look at the Facebook, one of the greatest inventions of today, of the modern technologies. Facebook, how much money this guy has invested? Nothing. How much content he has created? No content, zero content. The most popular media provider that creates no content. So it's all your content which is being shared. And look at it's $1 billion company, Alibaba.com. No inventory, zero inventory. So those people, this is for people like you and me who generally argue that we need capital. हमें पैसा चाहिए कुछ business start करने के लिए. I would say with these examples and many more that it is not the capital, it's not the funding which is important. It's the brain, it's the creativity, it's the mental agility, it's your thought process. How do you think? That helps to create successful startups and successful stories, not money. Even if I give lakhs of rupees to someone who doesn't know about it, I'm sure that he would not be able to start a venture with the effectiveness and efficiency. But one who uses his mind, who has a creative thinking, who has creativity, problem solving attitude, critical thinking, and then good communication, who has that fire in the belly, who has a lot of entrepreneurial skills, he would be the person. Even if a small amount is given to him, he would multiply it many times and become a success story of tomorrow. Now let's look at few approaches, the few problem areas where we need to ponder, the people have really thought of. This is a small slide which this seems to be some remote region in Africa, where as all of us know that in Africa the water problem is very common. So people have to travel miles to get water, and this is how they used to do. Someone came with an idea. Someone didn't just sat down and start crying and had that empathy and just share his feelings, but he saw opportunity in this, that there are people who travel, hundreds of them every day, 30 miles, 40 miles to fetch water for their house. They have to carry buckets on their heads. So this was an opportunity, and then he came with something of this kind. Wow, there was a problem which was solved. These drums were designed in such a way that these people could eventually push them or pull them and get more water from a particular place back to their houses after traveling 30 odd miles. Okay, now look at this. This is seed sowing. Now this is from our valley. There was an innovator, Naik Kuyum, who came to us at an IIT center and told that, sir, ye jo seed sowing process hai, it's very cumbersome. We find that the farmers who have to sow seeds, they have to travel, they have to be exposed. It's very difficult for them. It's a typical human factor engineering problem where they get musculoskeletal disorders, pain in their shoulders and arms. While so can we have a machine? So on the right side you will find it's me who is testing this machine. Seed sowing machine has been developed, a prototype has been developed, and we are looking to commercialize this. Then there was another innovator from Pampur. Eventually he's also a student of NIT Srinagar. He's doing his PhD. His name is Tariq. He belongs to a saffron family in Pampur. So he came to us, sir, the post harvesting saffron is very tough. ladies, old people have to sit for days to take that saffron, that out of the flower. So basically they are stigmas which are taken out of the flowers, and then they are in bunches. We get them, and these bunches have to be segregated. The root has to be cut, and then they have to be cut in different sizes for for various applications, whether this saffron is going for commercial purpose or it's going for medical purpose. So it's a processing has to be done, which generally we call it the combing operation, then segregating up, cutting the roots and segregation. So he came with an idea, can we develop a technology? And then this is the prototype which you can see, which has been developed. It's a saffron processing machine. We are in the process of testing this machine, a very sophisticated technology. About 15 lakh rupees was utilized from a certain scheme of the government scheme, which enabled us to create this prototype. And if it's commercialized, it will solve a lot of problems relating to those people who are processing this saffron. Now, this is our own apple. There are hundreds of problems, and there are a number of innovations which could happen. There was one student from NIT Srinagar who came with an idea, sir, we are not able to, the farmers, the fruit growers are not able to detect the disease of the apples. When actually these disease occur, there is no technology which would help us to identify it. So he came with a solution that we can create a machine, we can train a machine model based on the artificial intelligence, which I've just talked about. And then we will be placing cameras at these orchards. They will capture the image of the the leaves when in March, in spring, actually the buds start growing, the leaves, the green leaves start growing. So at that time, if we are able to identify a certain disease, then eventually if some corrective action is taken in form of some sprays, spraying some kind of medicine, the many disease could be eliminated in apple or in other fruit industries. So he has developed a technology based upon AI. He has trained a model, and then when this data is put in this model will detect. So it's an early detection of disease using AI. That's the title of this innovation. We are again looking. It's available on an app has been created. So this app would get the data from the orchards, and wherever some onset of disease is imminent, it would immediately send signals to the farmer who can take some corrective actions. So other than that, there are innovations which need to be happened. We already know about the grading, apple grading, and apple grading machines and conveyors which are commonly used. Then packaging also, in plucking of these apples, there are innovations which are happening in the valley, and then we are looking forward for more innovations. So these are some of the problematic areas, unresolved problem areas. All of us who belong to Kashmir, we have this kandur. The kandur problem is there. This poor man called as a kandur, he is exposed to this smoke. He inhales tons of smoke, and as a result, if you look at the diseases which are caused, especially the lung diseases, it's very pathetic. Can we look for some innovation which can help us to solve this problem? Look at the garbage in the valley or at any part of India. There are innovations which are happening, that how to recycle this garbage, what are the kind of dustbins which we need to develop, how to segregate the waste generated at our home, how to prevent the pollution in the rivers, in the lakes. And then education, inaccessibility and problems relating to education, they are very common unresolved problems where people like you, the universities like IGNOU and other universities need to come forward to generate those promising ideas where we can have some solution eventually which could give rise to startups and entrepreneurship activities. Tourism has a lot of scope. Walnut industry has a lot of scope. So this is the second part where I've shown you some of the ongoing innovations, and the opportunities available in the valley where you can start thinking. And the last part, another 5 to 10 minutes, is how to become a success story. That's, most of you must be thinking of, main kya karun, what should I do, what should we do. There is a book by Peter Thiel, which talks about the various principles of startups and innovations. So I'll just share some principles with you very, very quickly. Generally, when we talk about startups and innovations, we try to redo things. We try to reinvent the wheel. We try to do things which other people have done, or other people have created some success. That's the wrong policy. So that's like going from 1 to n. This is called going from 1 to n. Never go from 1 to n. Going from 1 to n means that if Google is a search engine which was invented, I want to invent some more, I want to innovate, or have some more search engines. You will never be successful, because what Google has done, he has the monopoly. So be monopolistic. Look at the problems which is not solved. There are opportunities. I can tell you there are thousands and thousands of opportunities, and those opportunities will be present all times to come, because of the new challenges, because of the new problems human beings face. So only think of going from 0 to 1, not from 1 to n. 0 to 1 means, अमन ये घोड़ा है, घोड़ा से घोड़ा गाड़ी बनाकर क्या फायदा है? आप घोड़ा से मोटर बनाओ, घोड़े से मोटर बनेंगे. That is what we call as 0 to 1. So you won't be able to achieve big success if you are going from 0 to 1, if you're going from 1 to n. But the horizontal, the vertical progress, when we talk about the vertical progress, it's like going from 0 to n. So that's the first mantra. The second principle talk about becoming a monopoly, avoid competition. Jahan bhi aapko competition lag rahi hai, wherever you think there's a competition in this area, never try to innovate, never try to start some venture. There's a big debate going on whether capitalism is good or competition is good. But to me, I would say, if we talk about a monopolistic market, we say it's capitalism, where it has its own problem, which all of us know about that. The more competition, the lesser you will be, the lesser you will make profits, and the growth will not be that good. So that's the second principle. So these are some of the examples, of the airline industries. And look at the Google monopoly. Google, I would say, is still the monopoly. So it has built 50 billion, a 21% profit it has generated in the last a decade. Whereas airline industries, hundreds of airline industries of US, they have increased 160 billion. It's a 160 billion industry, but it's only 37-cent profit per person, which is very, very low as compared to Google, what Google has done. So principle number 3, start with a niche market and then dominate. Don't think big. What Amazon has done, you all know, Amazon started with some niche market of books. People used to go to libraries to read books. So he thought, why shouldn't I create a digital library where where people can download and read books? And look where Amazon is today. It is anything you have to purchase, online, digital shopping, e-commerce, we talk about Amazon. The button which we click is amazon.in for any type of, but it started with book. So that's the principle number 3. Start with a niche market and then dominate, what Amazon has already done. This is eBay and PayPal, the examples of, So the mantra is that try to be a big fish in a small pond rather than a small fish in a big pond. That's the mantra. I hope you understand that. So this is the book 0 to 1, Peter Thiel, for those students who want to pursue startups as their careers. Please read this book, a very interesting book. It's a small notes on startups, how to build the future, by Peter Thiel. I think you should have this book if you are interested in startups. Now, as Dr. O.P. Sharma was telling that, we should tell you something about the schemes. You see, if you come to me with a promising idea, nobody is going to give you blindly an amount or a check. Okay, you have a good idea, please go ahead. You have to understand the process. Government of India has a lot of schemes. So these are some of the schemes which are in front of the screen. Ministry of MSME has schemes which NIT Srinagar, my IID center, is availing incubation scheme, where every year 2 or 3 times we obtain good ideas, we screen those ideas, we send it to the ministry, and then if those ideas are promising, and then if the the evaluators look at those ideas and find that, oh yes, this idea could eventually land in the market and can be commercialized, there is a support from MSME. Under this incubation scheme, we give a grant of 15 lakh rupees to each idea. It's a grant, not a loan, mind you. So this the example which I've given you, the example of the seed sowing machine and the example of the saffron processing machine, they are the 2 ideas which were selected. There are more ideas which we have sent very recently, and then every year it's advertised in the local papers, in our website also, that MSME ki scheme hai. So you can be one of the prospective candidatures for this scheme. And then DST Nidhi scheme is there, which I'll be glad to share with you that NIT Srinagar, along with the SCOS University, there are 2 universities who have been granted this Nidhi scheme. So very soon we'll be starting up our journey, where we will be supporting 30 startups. 30 startups would be supported who have good promising ideas, and then we will be giving space, a co-working space in our incubation center with the seeds, with the seed support of 2 to 10 lakh rupees, depending on the idea and the objectives, the goals of that startup. You have spent 2 years with us. We'll be giving you all the hand-holding, mentoring, the seeds, the technology. Our professors would really help. So that's the role in incubators or incubation centers, which nowadays are very common in universities, which you can make use of. And then there are some schemes from Ministry of Electronic Information Technology, from Niti Aayog. Stand Up India has a very beautiful, avenues and supports for, you can always register your companies on Stand Up India and get their support. Then innovation for defense excellence. If you have an idea pertaining to drones and defense, any gadgets, new innovations, you can ask them for some financial support. Then bio incubators for nurturing entrepreneurship or scaling technologies. It's a bio-related, BioNest. A lot of innovations are happening in biotechnology also. So this is all what I have to talk today, and then this was just a tip of the iceberg. There are many things which are going behind the curtains, behind the scene. But the crux of the matter is that if you want to be a successful startup, you want to pursue your journey towards from innovations to startup, then again the passion should be there, the fire in the belly should be there, the motivation should be there. The ABC which I've talked about, that ABC, if it's missing, the attitude, the behavior, the culture, if it's missing, you will not be able to do much. With those words, I am really thankful to invite me, and I hope that this would give some type of initiatives and some type of directions to the students of IGNOU who want to pursue their careers in entrepreneurship and startups or innovations. So thank you so much. You have any questions, please?
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for this detailed presentation. And what I have learned and what I am of the opinion, that means in conclusion, and if we inculcate the AI in startup and innovation, followed by the IoT it is really going to help us a lot. And the slides which what you have mentioned, I have personally cherished a lot going through the slides which mentioned AI, because I am the subject, I'm the man of this AI, and I have the subject of this AI, and I have really cherished this slides. Now, my request for Fayaz is, if you have any question, let's listen from you about your innovation, what you have done. Actually, we are all eager to see what you have done. After that, we will be having question answer with the experts. Right, Fayaz?
हेलो, यस सर.
Yeah, go ahead with your.
सर, मैं पुलवामा से बिलोंग करता हूँ और मेरा जो स्टार्टअप है वो एक एग्रीकल्चर से रिलेटेड है. मोस्ट पर्टिकुलरली मैं बता सकता हूँ कि एनिमल हस्बेंड्री से. सर, हमारा जो स्टार्टअप है वो हम एनिमल न्यूट्रिशन पे काम कर रहे हैं, लाइव स्टॉक और पोल्ट्री फीड, लो कास्ट लाइव स्टॉक एंड पोल्ट्री फीड. और उसमें हम हमारा ये रहता है कि किस तरह से हम लाइव स्टॉक और पोल्ट्री फीड का जो कास्ट है उसको हम कास्ट इफेक्टिव बना रहे हैं. और जो हमारी कॉम्बिनेशन है उसके रिलेटेड हमारा पेटेंट अभी तक पब्लिश हो चुका है, अभी एग्जामिनेशन में है. और सर, हमारा ट्रेडमार्क अभी नवंबर में रजिस्टर्ड हो चुका है. इसके साथ साथ इग्नो से हमें ये इसके लिए एक 2020 का बेस्ट इनोवेशन अवार्ड मिला है. ये और मुझे इस वक्त रिडल एक इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर है, सोमैया विद्या विहार यूनिवर्सिटी मुंबई की, जो इस इनोवेशन के लिए मुझे फेलोशिप दे रही है 1 साल से. और इसके साथ साथ मुझे जो टेक्निकल इसमें असिस्टेंस टेक्निकल सपोर्ट जो मिला वो कास्ट कश्मीर से मिला. डॉक्टर हैदर अली अहमद मेरे ऑनरेरी एडवाइज़र है, मेंटर है, जिसने मुझे इसमें मुझे बहुत हेल्प किया. और इसके साथ साथ मुझे जो और टेक्निकल सपोर्ट और इंक्यूबेशन जो मिला वो सुकास्ट जम्मू से मिला मुझे. इस वक्त मैं वहाँ पे ही इंक्यूबेटेड हूँ. और मुझे उन्होंने उनकी एक प्रगति स्कीम चल रही थी, उद्गम और प्रगति. उद्गम एक ओरिएंटेशन प्रोग्राम, उसमें 5 लाख का सपोर्ट दिया जाता है. तो पहले उन्होंने मुझे उसी में लिया था 5 लाख की स्कीम में. तो उसके बाद जब हमारा इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड 1 महीने की एक ट्रेनिंग मिली वहाँ से, तो उन्होंने मुझे अपग्रेड किया प्रगति के लिए 25 लाख के लिए. और अभी वो पाइपलाइन में है, अभी प्रोसेस चल रहा है उसमें. तो उन्होंने तो अपग्रेड किया हुआ है. तो इसके साथ साथ मैंने खुद भी इस पे थोड़ा सा काम किया है. पहले तो हमने इसका सैंपल बनाया था, प्रोटोटाइप, और मैंने उसका जो सैंपल वो मैंने फार्मर में
Hello. Seems to be some glitch. Hello.
So Javed sir, we can go ahead with the questions.
फार्मर उसको दिया है और उसका बहुत सारा फीडबैक आ गया है. तो फार्मर को हेलो सर.
Yes, Fayaz, अगर आपको कोई क्वेश्चन है, you want to put your question to the expert, you are most welcome.
So he is back. Let us first listen to him.
सर, मैं यही बता रहा था कि मेरा जो स्टाफ है वो हम एक लो कास्ट लाइव स्टॉक और पोल्ट्री फीड बना रहे हैं, और उसी पे हमारा काम चल रहा है.
चलिए, that's really good.
Yes sir.
All the best to you, Fayaz साहब. बहुत अच्छा. You're doing very well.
Very
Fayaz साहब, और जैसे कि हमारा एक्सप्लेन आज फर्स्ट दिया only on the AI. मतलब most of the part was on the AI.
तो
We
सर,
try
मैं
to
ये question
inculcate the AI
था,
in innovation so that it will be more and more.
तो सर कहीं पे होता है इन्वेंशन और टेक्नोलॉजी.
Okay. So if you are including technology in your innovation, that will gonna boost your innovation.
नो सर, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था कि सर ने बताया था कि व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन इन्वेंशन एंड इनोवेशन.
Okay.
तो कहीं होता है इन्वेंशन, इनोवेशन और टेक्नोलॉजी. तो मैं जानना चाहता था कि ये टेक्नोलॉजी से इसका रिलेशन.
You see, innovation, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया फैज साहब, innovation जो आप कर रहे हैं, it's innovation. You are innovating something new, new field. Technology can come later on. अब technology का मतलब, you see, what type of technologies you are using or what type of technology you are developing.
Yes sir.
दो चीजें हैं। आप अपने इस इनोवेशन को टेक्नोलॉजिकल इंटरवेंशन, जैसे इन्होंने कहा कि आप एआई बेस्ड, एआई इज समथिंग व्हिच कैन बी पुट एवरीवेयर। आजकल तो हर एक चीज एआई में ही ऑल इनोवेशंस विल हैपन, जो कोई सॉल्व करिए आस्ता आस्ता करके उसको एआई आप बेस्ड बना सकते हैं।
ओके, थैंक यू सर।
और कोई क्वेश्चन है सब आप वांट टू पुट टू द एक्सपर्ट?
नो सर।
Okay. Chaliye, thank you very much. Thanks, Dr. Saad Parvez, for your detailed presentation. Now,
Any other questions from any other participants? Javed sir, please ask them if they have
yes,
any
yes. If we have questions, we have been joined by RC Gangtok. RC Gangtok is with us. RC Gangtok, if you are have any issue, any questions, you can ask. Expert is available.
So I think we should keep the session open for any question
Yes,
that
exactly.
can be asked by any participant.
Azka Nasir is with us. RC Gangtok, if you have any question, you have any suggestion, you can put your question.
और सर मेरा दूसरा एक सवाल ये था कि आपका जो इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर है एनआईटी श्रीनगर में, मैंने भी एक बार वहाँ पे वो 2021 का जो आइडिया के लिए आप वो हैकाथॉन, हाँ सर वो तो आपने, हाँ सर आपने प्रिलिमिनरी के लिए मुझे सिलेक्ट किया था वहाँ पे, तो फाइनली मुझे लग रहा है शायद एनआईटी टेक्नोलॉजी बेस्ड स्टार्टअप को ही ले रहा है शायद।
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है। यू सी हमारे पास बोथ सर्विस बेस्ड आइडियाज भी। क्या होता है बेसिकली, एनआईटी इज अ टेक्नोलॉजिकल इंस्टीट्यूशन, राइट? सो आई वुड नॉट बी एबल टू हेल्प यू इफ यू हैव सम biotechnology based innovations where I am not an expert or we don't have experts available. So what we can do is we can get you connected to the right experts in SCOST university. So basically हर एक यूनिवर्सिटी की अपनी एक एक्सपर्टाइज होती है। So हमारे पास there are startups who are working in service sectors like education में। एक Move Beyond का आपने नाम सुना होगा, it's a startup which
Yes, sir.
eventually is his third year, so he has started his activity and he's doing well. That is totally education based, counseling, education, बच्चों की counseling कैसे करेंगे through technological intervention. So ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। हाँ, we would not undertake those innovations where experts are not available in our domain.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
So Saad Saab, does that mean there are different incubation centers for different type of startups?
You see, the basic purpose of the incubation center, we have to understand what is the basic, the basic purpose of the incubation center is to, number one, provide a co-working space. Number two, give some facilities, where he can develop his idea. Number three, if some kind of mentorships can be given to him, right? Networking could be created, right? Connections could be created. Number fourth is some seed money. Okay, so when it comes to developing ideas, so technology is involved or expertise is involved. So if my incubation has no expert available in developing their technologies, or I don't have those machineries, those kind of technologies which would eventually help to develop an idea, then I would not take him in my incubation center. I will tell him कहाँ जी और SCOST में incubation center है, वो agriculture based, plant variety based कुछ innovations करना चाहते हैं, I would not be able to help you. You can go and join them. If he just needs space, office space, so वो हम उनको दे सकते हैं। आप आइए हमारे incubation center में, हम आपको office space देंगे. We call it a co-working space where you can work for 6 hours, 7 hours, 10 hours. Facilities use कर सकते हैं, जो भी आपकी whatever facilities are needed, you can avail those facilities. But I may not be able to give him the mentorship help, which
Okay.
अब जरूरी नहीं है कि we can always connect him. He can use my space and get connected to any part of the world. So incubation centers doesn't mean कि नहीं जी, हाँ, अब मान लीजिए कि उसको एक स्पेशल टेस्ट करना है, कोई लैब चाहिए जहां पर उसकी आइडिया को ग्रो करने के लिए टेस्टिंग बहुत कंपलसरी है, एंड आई डोंट हैव दैट लैब, देन probably he will not join my incubation center.
Yeah, right.
Mr. Ishtiaq is with us. He was a very keen listener throughout the session. Mr. Ishtiaq, if you have any question, so let us not miss this opportunity. Yes, Ishaq Saab is trying to. Yes.
A very good afternoon to all of you, respected Regional Director, Dr. Shahnazaman Saab, respected Professor Saad Saab, and one of the innovative researcher of our this team, innovations and all that. So I would like to ask the experts, as you have mentioned, the difference between innovation and invention. These are the two literal terms. What term can be suitable the kind of work which Mr. Fayaz has carried out? As we have referred, this is an innovative effort of Mr. Fayaz. So can we have a difference between invention and innovation?
देखिए, what I understand, what Fayaz is doing, he is not it's not an invention. ये invention नहीं है, because ऐसी चीजें बहुत उन्हें की हुई हैं. There are a lot of new such activities which people keep on doing. The poultry feed, he is taking some different, ingredients to make a poultry feed, maybe low cost. It could be low cost. It could be a frugal innovation. So it's innovation. I would say it's innovation. If some value is added to it in the marketplace, that would be an innovation. It won't be an innovation. Invention का मतलब होता है, all of us, we understand the greatest inventions. Electric bulb was an invention. Steam engine was an invention. जो एक नई चीज, एक नई इजाद जो मार्केट में आती है या साइंस या टेक्नोलॉजी के थ्रू एक डेवलप होती है, दैट इज इन्वेंशन. ठीक है. हाँ, बट इन्वेंशन को अब आपको मार्केट में लेना है, उसमें वैल्यू तब तक नहीं है जब तक वो आप मार्केट में उसको कमर्शियलाइज नहीं कर पाएंगे. सो देन इट बिकम्स अ प्रोडक्ट और अ सर्विस, यूजेबल प्रोडक्ट और अ सर्विस.
Sir, my matter of concern.
प्रोग्राम्स के लिए एमओयू चेंज हुआ है बिहार के, isn't it?
मैम, एमओयू तो नहीं है, वो तो दूसरा है आपका, तो बिहार गवर्नमेंट के साथ एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट.
Sir, my matter of concern about the question is that we have this initiating this startup program. So how can an ordinary learner make a differentiation of the innovations and inventions? That's the thing. But we are going to give them a kind of way that innovative ideas are to be taken from their side in order to explore the excellence in the field of innovation. My question is about that, how we can define them, what they have to carry for this innovative activities.
मैंने इसका जवाब मैंने तभी दे दिया था. There's a difference between innovation and invention. Invention, just try to understand it. Invention is formulation of new ideas for products, or processes, methods, or way of doing things. Okay? So formulation of the new ideas, formulation is invention, whereas practical application of new inventions into marketable products या services को innovation कहते हैं. That's the very simple difference. आप कोई फॉर्मुलेट कर रहे हैं नया आइडिया, वो इन्वेंशन हो गई. जैसे इलेक्ट्रिक बल्ब ने क्या किया, उसने एक्सपेरिमेंट्स किए वन फाइन मॉर्निंग इट वाज अ यूरेका मोमेंट. ही केम, भैया ये दिस इज इलेक्ट्रिक बल्ब, ये अब आपको ये कर सकता है. ये एक प्रोटोटाइप बनाया उसने, दैट वाज इन्वेंशन. बट इन्वेंशन को जब मार्केट प्लेस में हमने लिया, उसमें जो द इंग्रेडिएंट्स हैं एक प्रोडक्ट को मार्केट में चलने के लिए, वो जब आए तब then this invention was taken to the market and some value was added. It's a value addition is the difference to be something from formulation of a new idea, a new product, a new method. Okay, जैसे आप अब मान लीजिए आप you take electricity लेते हैं. सबसे पहले इलेक्ट्रिक बल्ब होता था, that was an invention. फिर इनोवेशंस हुए, ट्यूबलाइट आई, फिर आपके पास CFS आए, फिर आजकल आपके पास ये जो हम यूज करते हैं, these are innovations which keep on happening. Small innovations जो है. राइट ब्रदर्स ने क्या इन्वेंट किया इन्वेंट एरोप्लेन. बट जो आज का एरोप्लेन है वो इन्वेंशन नहीं है. there are millions of innovations which have occurred in these flying machines. So those are innovations. They are not inventions. Invention हो चुकी है, जहाज की इन्वेंशन हो चुकी है.
और सर मेरा
Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would like to request Dr. Mudassir Hassan Bhatt, Assistant Regional Director, to propose the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir. Dr. Mudassir.
Good afternoon, all of you. At the outset, I would like to thank and congratulate the regional director, sir, for taking efforts in organizing these programs. These programs are very, emerging, and these have a vital role in generating employment. We are thankful to our regional director of Regional Center IGNOU, Dr. Safdar Alam, and regional director, Regional Center Gangtok. They have spared their valuable time and joined us for this session. We're highly thankful to Dr. Saad Parvez, Head Innovation, Incubation and Entrepreneurship Development at NIT Srinagar. Sir has presented detailed about this innovation, incubation and process, and how this scenario is changing in coming times, how the displacement will happen and how new opportunities for employment will be created. Obviously, I had a catch of out of this lecture. I had one important catch of the center. That is, it all revolves around mind, market, and mentor. These are three. This is very important, and this is very important aspect of this lecture. Mind generates ideas, new ideas, and that can be transformed into new inventions. But these new inventions, when turned into innovations, need a market where they can be, projected, and for all this process, mentorship is very important. Unless there is a mentor who will guide these entrepreneurships, and only then these entrepreneurs will be successful. We're thankful to Dr. O.P. Sharma, who have from headquarters, for sparing his valuable time and blessing us with encouraging words about the regional center Srinagar. It indicates that the headquarters have been monitoring and effectively supporting the regional center in its activities. We are thankful to all of our participants, our section heads, and all other participants. We're thankful to Mr. Fayaz Ahmed, who has been a young entrepreneur and has earned his name in this field of entrepreneurship development. We're thankful to all participants of this program. In coming times, more such programs are needed because times are changing. As Dr. Saad sir has rightly pointed out that times are changing. Unless we keep the pace with changing times, if we do not keep pace with the changing times, it will create difficulties for us. So with the changing times, the innovations that are coming, the techniques that are there, we need to be updated and keep updating with all these possibilities. And with these, accepting the change and preparing for such will generate new employment avenues and keep us relevant in the present times. So thank you all of you for attending session. From our regional center, we truly and heartily thank you all for sparing your valuable time and joining session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. And with these words, the session comes to an end. Thanks for the joining. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you.